Hey, welcome everybody to your weekly podcast presented by 5-Pin Universe, number 43. Unreal that we've gotten through this many podcasts and some of you are still around. So we have the usuals. I'm your host, Karie Kreutz. We have Tim and Dexter Wiseman, Adam Weber, and our special guest this week from Penticton, BC is Chris Bradford. Thanks,
Hey guys,
Chris.
how are you doing? No
Well, how are
problem.
you?
Not too bad.
We're really happy to have you on.
I'm really happy to be here.
So our first topic will be presented by Jeff England. He's asking, why are Ontario bowlers so much better?
I have a really good answer to that. They're not.
And moving on.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
It helps when you play at Elmira Dune. That helps.
That is hyped up, man.
Elmira Dune or
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dune, yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
There are some scores out in Ontario right now. That is for sure. So congratulations to all the great players out there at the moment. It's insane numbers getting put up.
And only two centers. I mean, I watched the Ontario Open, some other ones. It was pretty bad. I mean, at one point, Central Min was winning with a 239 average, and they're a hell of a zone, right? So yeah,
Those are the brand new bands that everybody was pretty excited about, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Greenlee rocked it out there.
Yeah.
But
we're-
to answer your question, Jeff, I don't think so. I don't think that's the truth.
I think there are some great players in Ontario, and I think
Well,
there are some great
Tim, are
players.
you from Ontario originally?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, okay, that would make sense then.
We have great players everywhere, and there's some great ones in Ontario, and there's some great ones in Western Canada, and there's some great ones in between. We all just get along. There you are, Jeff.
Jeff, thanks for posing that question. Just so guys know, this will be our last podcast, obviously, before Christmas, so the topics may not be a little too heavy tonight. We're mostly joking around, and Jeff, we know that was just a stab at us, and it's all good. We love hearing that stuff.
Who's Jeff England?
Welcome to the podcast, Bradford.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Just kidding.
So, anybody got a topic that you want to bring up? Actually, I'll bring one up since we were kind of talking about it before podcast. Shield regulations for perfect games across the country. Rulebook corner, Dexter.
Oh, good.
Good Newell.
Yeah, any good news on that
Good
one?
news.
You got a good Newell there?
So the reason why this came up is because Bradford's on podcast, and as he brought up, there's been a few perfect games that have been not recognized by the C5 out in BC. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Bradford. We do.
Oh, no
appreciate
problem.
that.
I was just curious on it.
But part of the reason why they weren't they weren't allowed was because there's been a lot of centers out in BC that haven't been certified by the Masters or the Canadian 5-Pin in numerous years now. You need to be certified every 2 years to stay current in those organizations and have record scores count. BC, for whatever reason, it seems like that was kind of lost in translation over the last number of years. I've heard of many centers out there that hadn't been certified in umpteen years. Like it was
Bowl out of
forgotten.
one.
Like, sorry?
I bowl out of one.
Yeah, and I feel like that's almost like the case out in BC where majority aren't certified at this point.
So
in any case.
Yeah. So Dexter, could you elaborate on why the shield rule is necessary to be certified?
Well, okay. So my understanding as to what the shield is there for is to show when the machine's been activated. So the reason why it's important for a perfect game or record scores is that you can't really tell when a machine is activated. So if you have a pin like partially leaning and then all of a sudden it goes over, but the shield isn't moving, then you know that the machine isn't activated and that pin just fell over. But if you have a shield moving and a pin falls over while that's happening, it's very likely that happened because the machine was activated and started cycling. Although I'm going through the rule book, and in the rule book, in the actual rule book itself, it's not stated anywhere in there about that because that's not really what the rule book is for. Under the specs section for the Canadian 5 pin, interesting enough, it says, although shields are not required for lane certification, shields are required for all C5 PBA events beginning at the zone level. Which is interesting because that sounds to me like if you're hosting any C5 events at all and you don't have shields, then I don't know if they're realistically, technically supposed to be allowed. I mean, I'm sure you can reach out and, talk to the C5 and have, that stuff put in away, but I don't know if scores should realistically be allowed if it's required for C5 PBA events. I then went through the bylaws for the C5, and then I went through the record scores formats, and I still can't see in here where it says that shields are required for that. So maybe Tim can elaborate a little bit on that, because I truly don't see that on here.
You must have the shields on in order to have your record score count.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In a C5,
Yes.
right? For
Not to
C5
explain.
to recognize them, right?
Correct. So you can get a record score. You can have a perfect game, but you need to have it on in order for the C5 to accept it. Right? Same thing as you must be a member in order for the C5 to accept the perfect game.
That
Right.
makes total sense.
So remember, I think we talked about many moons ago in a couple of podcasts. They decided they wanted to come up with a light system instead as well to help offset the cost of the shields, because shields can get expensive. And at the end of the day, I don't believe proprietors, not say they don't care, but it comes to dollars and cents nowadays. And if it's going to cost them a lot of money to put shields in just to have a perfect game recognized, they're probably not going to want to do that. So the shields cost, I think we talked about it, the lights cost about $15 or something really cheap. You can hardwire right into your motor. Jason Kennedy he owns Smithers Bowl, but he's from Prince George, came up with it, and it works really well, and you don't need a shield anymore with that. So he's talked to the centers out in BC that require them, and some of them are already on board with it. So, for example, like the gentleman who threw the perfect game in Nechako for their open provincials, he knew that because Nechako doesn't have shields, he knew even before walking in there that if he got a perfect game, it wasn't going to be honored by C5 because the shields or the lights aren't on.
Yeah, and you know what? I 100% totally agree with that rule.
Yeah,
I just don't see where it's actually stated.
It's a rule, so trust me.
Yeah, no, I trust you.
Oh, we
but
trust you. It'd be nice if we could find it as written document instead of.
Yeah, I'm just saying it should probably be stated. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not stated. I'm saying I can't find it. I'm not.
I got you. Yes.
I'm not deliberately trying to miss this to cause an issue. I'm looking through this to try to find it because you asked me to.
I
And
didn't ask you to.
all right, next topic.
So, I'll segue into being recognized as perfect games. So, I know last time I threw a perfect game, they still recognized it with a ring and a trophy ball. Is that still the situation with C5? Does anybody know if they're still recognizing it with rings and trophy balls, or has it been reduced?
Trophy balls, plaque, badges, certificate, you get all with that, as far as I know, and the ring comes through Bowl AB.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they still doing the ring?
Bowl AB, now this is what that I don't know what other proprietors do. Bowl AB stopped doing it a long time ago until Jesse Bouchard got it. And then they decided, oh, let's do it for Jesse, and then, which is a great moment, don't get me wrong. And then they forgot about some other people's with that whole situation. I don't think Adam's got his yet, have you?
Not officially, but I was speaking with Richard up there. I believe it actually is in right now, so I think we've got our open provincial or open trials at the end of January, and I'll probably get it at that point.
That's awesome. Good.
Well, three years later, but
Hey,
still.
you got
It's
it.
better late than never. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to actually have it in St. Albert when you get it.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess at least a couple of years ago, they definitely did get the ball and the plaque and all that stuff too, which was pretty cool at the C5 National.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got that in Sudbury, I do believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, you had mentioned something about badges and certificates. Is that since I've been lucky enough to throw a perfect game, I don't think I ever received anything like that. It was a plaque, a trophy, and a ring.
Honestly, I just get a package, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
Not
Sometimes
sure.
I had sometimes it's a little badge you get with it.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's just a certificate. It's more of a letter saying congratulations.
Right.
It's not really a certificate. I actually have the boxer here. I could pull it
No,
and
that's fine.
check everybody else's stuff here. Yeah.
I could probably make you a T-shirt, Carrie.
Well, that'd be fantastic.
Okay.
You should
I'll
buy
bring it in
his
February.
on.
Do you have a place around your house in Penticton that would make the T-shirts? Or
Actually, I would do it. Yeah.
oh,
I don't have enough material to make Adam Weber's, but
yeah.
Wow.
The silence. I like it. Anybody else got a topic? Let's segue into another topic.
hey, I had a quick question. So, I bought some balls from this gal, and I guess her son was a big bowler, and at the time, it's a soft roll and it says limited edition on it, and it's got 100 engraved on the back of the ball. I was wondering if you guys know anything about it. Apparently, he bowled. There was a group of people that bowled 100 games in 100 different centers in 100 days.
Terry
Across
Burns.
Canada?
Yeah, it was Terry Burns. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just the one guy?
As far as I know, he was the one that was doing the traveling and bowling in the different centers. It was
okay.
it was across 100 days. It was 100 centers. I know he did like several centers in one day because obviously travel days he wouldn't be able to play. But yeah, that was on the 100th anniversary, I do believe, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, as for a bowling ball made from it or anything like that, I have no clue. But I know Terry definitely took the time and did that. It was pretty neat. He played coast to coast.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry,
Okay. No,
Chris,
go ahead.
sorry, maybe a kid came out for a 100-year anniversary of 2009, maybe, right? Maybe for the 100-year of bowling, maybe that could have been it.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe Phipps came out with a 100-year one.
Well, it was this lady who said her son did this bowling, and it was they were his balls that I bought.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I was just curious about it.
Unfortunately, I don't know anybody else that went on the trip with Terry, but there definitely could have been. I have no information on that.
Okay.
We have a piece of history right there, bud.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
cool.
pretty unique.
Oh,
I'm just-
definitely.
I'm just trying to look it up. But it sounds like he was definitely in merit. So he may have rolled through that area, you know? So who knows?
Well, his mom's from Summerland, so
Okay. Interesting.
which probably means nothing to you guys.
It's in BC, right?
It's by Penticton Day.
Oh, it's by Penticton. Oh, okay.
Is it near Mission?
No.
Oh.
It's in BC. It's in BC.
Is it in the valley?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad.
We're getting all this geography lessons about BC over the last year, so.
Well, that's good.
Plenty of flack.
Maybe we can play a tournament out here sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
I would love it. I miss the tournaments out in BC. I really do. I loved the drive. I loved the people. It was so much
instead of
fun.
going somewhere where it's -30, it'd be like +4.
Yeah, exactly. I would take that.
Mhm.
I might even wear a Speedo.
That would be fantastic.
Well, there was talks, and I can't remember who I was speaking with, but there was talks about trying to get maybe like a summer tournament in like Kelowna or something, and make it almost like a week long, so people can go camp and then, kind of make a vacation out of it and make a bit of a cash tournament. But I haven't heard anything further for at least 2-3 years.
I feel like it'd be hard to do in summer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Chris, I hear your ball team's not that good, so you could participate in this.
That's way too early.
Yeah, I think it would be tough to kind of run a summer tournament just with both nationals and then the WCBT finals closing in August there. You have to pick a weekend that's in between, right?
Well, and my golf swing ruins my bowling throw, so.
Yeah, because they affect each other.
So do you golf all winter then?
No.
Chris, weren't
That's
you
very
golfing
funny.
in December?
That's very
Weren't you
funny.
golfing in December in Vegas?
Yes, I was.
Okay, just saying.
Thanks for asking. I don't know why we're talking
boy.
about that, but
Well, you had mentioned your golf swing ruins your bowling swing, but you're the one that brought it up.
it's true. It's true.
So I do have a topic, and I don't know if you guys have heard anything about the USBC down in the States has started. They've always had a certification program as well, where it was a fail or a pass, but now they're doing a tiered system. So your lanes may be certified they're flat or whatever, but if they're missing a shield or something, as in 5-pin would be, you could host certain tournaments, but you couldn't host like a national tournament or something like that. Do you think C5 could implement something kind of the same, a tiered system where it may cost too much money to put in shields? If they put in this light system, they could host provincial rounds, zone rounds, stuff like that?
If something was ever brought forward, maybe that could be a possibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like the problem is nowadays. I mean, like I said, proprietors don't want to put the money into shields because they don't get the value maybe back on it. I know Dex and I we feel there's a value because we love the sport. I'm not saying other proprietors don't love the sport, but you know what? Sometimes it's tough, right? You know, in Penticton, I know Chris has mentioned that it's real tough down there sometimes with that kind of stuff, right? And if you don't have the right person who understands the sport, it makes it tough too.
Yeah, we have proprietors that don't really know anything about bowling, so it makes it
tough.
Yeah.
And so I guess it has to come full circle. I think everybody has to be on the same page, and I don't think everybody is on the same page nowadays anymore. Just they have different agendas and people are busy with other things and
the industry is different, right? I mean, there's so much of the industry that's focused on the open play side of it because that's a large part of the revenue, right?
And they have to be, right? They have to nowadays. Yeah.
If it's easy for us to say that we're okay with the shields because we had the shields in for years and years and years and years. They were installed when the lanes came in, right? But if it was me now, I don't know if I would jump and put on shields right away. if I was starting a brand new bowling alley and whatever, and I didn't know anything of it, I probably wouldn't even care.
So
You probably wouldn't even know. Yeah.
So, do you feel that it would be an association? It doesn't have BC 5 or could be a completely different association. Maybe a certification board starts up or something like that. That they would be the ones to inform these proprietors to push this agenda, to help fundraise maybe this agenda. Do you feel there's a necessity for that?
For sure. I honestly believe down the road that when we host something like, in a perfect world, say WCBT, or you're hosting a C5 event, you have people that will go in and they set the lanes up according to what that is, right? You know, they go in, they have the same tension, same machine work, same oiling as what maybe you expect everywhere else. USBC does that, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they do that.
For USBC specific tournaments, yeah.
Right, and I am not opposed to that at all. I think you could have 90% of the proprietors out there probably be like, you know what, it's my place, my business, don't touch my stuff. And I also understand that part, but if you understand the whole concept of things, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I guess to compare it to another sport, so look at the PGA Tour. So
absolutely, yep.
A group comes in and they set up the golf course to the standard that PGA Tour event is supposed to be, or the USGA US Open is supposed to be. A specific group comes in and sets the standard. But I think that goes like those golf courses or those places bid to have that event at their golf course, right? We don't have that so much in 5-pin bowling. Like a center doesn't go out and bid to host the national. It kind of goes on a rotation. Do you feel that if we could bring in more television or media, that it would open that up to proprietors that would want that event at their center, so they would physically go out and market it? Or do you feel that proprietors just are happy with a rotation, and when they get it, that's fine?
I think there's two trains of thought. I think the rotation, depending on the event nowadays, like Open and Masters, they have the full 8 province rotation based off the lane beds and whatnot. For YBC Nationals, there's only going to be a select few provinces now, right? They're no longer going to Northern Ontario. I don't think they're going to Newfoundland anymore. Select few because they want to save off travel costs, right? And YC's the same way. They're opening up to a rotation of 4 events now for you challenge. They have Ontario, Quebec, Manitoba, and Alberta just because of flights and costs for that. So that would come to that. In a way, I think if there was more money involved, I think any proprietor would be more than willing to host it. But I also think most of these events, they're national, they're in non-prime time season, correct? And I think for those I think it's a bonus to be hosting these national events for those that have always contributed or been a part of it over many years before that. I think if you always supported in the past, you should be the one reaping the benefits during non-prime time, I think, right? I know in Abbotsford, they had from my understanding, they had a little bit of an issue with, they thought they made more money in the summer than they did than the Open, but I can't see you having a full center in May or end of June or beginning of June, full center, when the night weather is that nice outside. None of us are, right? So I think it's kind of reap the benefit of it.
Well, they had leagues running while we were playing.
Yeah, right beside the Open Nationals. Yeah.
So obviously there's enough business, even at that peak time.
Yeah.
Or non-peak time, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that these boards should be sending people out ahead of time before the national event to make sure that the lanes are up to standard?
100%.
Ideally, yes.
Like I mean, even if it's a couple of days before, make sure that oiling's done, make sure that the machines are all working proper. Somebody that has some sort of knowledge and can maybe help out. I think that would benefit the owners or the proprietors, and I think that would definitely benefit the competitors.
Tim, you can correct me wrong, but in Alberta, like if we're hosting a national event, the national board relies on the provincial board relies on the zone board to kind of get that in rolling. Is that not correct?
100%. So I've held 2 national youth challenges. I've also held almost everything except for the Open I've been a part of. And yeah, so the provincial board like follows up through the national board. Now, most times it's been not so bad. Like I can contact the head office and keep in touch with them that way. It'd make it a little bit easier, but way things are nowadays. But yeah, your provincial board definitely relies on your zone board because you can't be there all the time, right? So unfortunately enough, I've always had an executive from the Alberta side be there when I've been there because one of us has been local enough where they can help out. Again, like if you're looking at any other place out of Edmonton or Calgary for Alberta, Central, and you know Shelby's going to do a good job regardless. That's the only other center I can see hosting a national outside Edmonton or Calgary, right? So you're right. It depends on, and I think you completely agree. If your provincial association or your local association is on the ball, they should be working with a proprietor not just a couple days in advance, but months in advance on what they would want.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sure everything's running properly.
Yeah, and then there's some things where you just can't control. I mean, we saw it at TPC, right? So
yep.
You can't really do much about that. So,
but there are things that can be controlled, and those are the things that sometimes need to be addressed. And that's not me trying to be rude or anything, but I mean we've experienced it at some nationals where things are just they're things that should have been taken care of a year before the nationals before, right? And they still aren't. So is there like an opportunity for the C5 or the Masters before these events to contract out a person to go out there and make sure that these things are actually taken care of?
I remember Danny Gombach and myself had this exact same conversation, and he almost kind of nominated himself like 5, 6, 7 years ago for this exact role, right? To have that kind of tournament liaison that's, you know, contract based, I guess, to physically go out. But realistically, you go to these proprietors don't want another set of hands, another potential liability on their premises. And is it cost effective to everybody? I don't know. It's just more cost to the governing body, which right now they're trying to cut every cent.
I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at that. I mean, yeah, it is an absolute cost, but I mean, if that means that people are going out to nationals and having a good experience, and that keeps people coming back, or having more people come back, then that money's covered. But if you go and you're having real negative experiences at some of these places, you start losing people, and then you have to start making those cuts. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just a thought.
I guess I
love the idea.
Yeah, I look at it from a business perspective. Once a business or a corporation starts cutting costs and starts looking at ways to even lay people off to bring themselves more cost effective or to make a bigger profit or whatever the situation is, usually those businesses don't rebound. And I'd hate to see the C5's looking at streamlining a little bit. We see it with Bowl Canada. They're trying to streamline a little bit by reducing their national destinations and stuff like that. Do you see that as a bad side effect? Do you think an association or any of these business type things rebounding from this, or do you think 5-pin just going downhill, that these associations will just never recover?
Honestly, I can tell you probably because I've been in most of the national meetings. It's not that they don't want to. I guess you can say, I don't know if it's downsizing, you can say, but changing their ways of doing things, as in locations and stuff like that, solely based off of funding from Sport Canada, a lot of it. 5-pin bowling is actually getting less than even kayaking, I think. And I think it's a lot to do with numbers. I mean, Masters, I don't know how necessarily I'm kind of green on that aspect. Masters get some funding from it, but Masters and C5 have membership cards, right? So we can get the funding based off our numbers that way. Problem with Bowl Canada they're having is they're trying to find different ways of getting their numbers crossed, because if you're just a YBC member and a Club 55 Plus and maybe a Sunshine, you get your numbers in there. But otherwise, if you're Joe Blow, like an Adam or Karie or Bradford or Dex, and you don't participate in these events, the numbers are never going to be there, right? So they're finding unique ways to try to get that through as well in order to get their funding. So I think a lot of it is funding, and honestly, the less lane beds we have out there from proprietors, the less you're going to get for memberships, and you're going to lose funding that way as well. So I don't know if it's necessarily decreasing things. I think it's just you're just kind of going. It's a tough sell if you're. WCBT hasn't seen it, right? Because we're on an uphill trajectory still. But you have 5-pin, you have Masters, and in YBC, and I think a lot of the numbers, the reason why they're dropping is also because of lane beds, because proprietors can't afford rent, they can't afford wages. So it's not maybe necessarily any association's fault. It's just the fact that there's just less places to go.
Yeah, and I guess that's where my thought process is going. So
yeah.
C5 is the regulatory commission. Masters is obviously in control, or is the governing body for the coaching division and stuff like that.
And lane certification.
It's too bad there wasn't a specific association or an association that took it upon themselves to do the fundraising, to do the gathering of the memberships, to push that objective to boost Sport Canada funding, right?
Should that not be the Bowling Federation of Canada? Shouldn't they not be doing that?
Literally, if you weren't a part of the C5 or the Masters, would you know about the Bowling Federation? I have no clue.
You're absolutely right. But the Bowling Federation overlooks all of it.
And they should be involved in all this, should they not? Like, where are these? Where is the Bowling Federation? Where are they a part of this?
I honestly had no idea until I joined the A5 board, or even I knew what the BFA was, but I didn't put like 2 and 2 together, or the BFC or anything like that. By the way, I want to be honest with you, Masters, like the coaching part, is actually C5 regulated, not Masters.
You're right. It's C5 regulated, but it's Masters that puts on the clinics.
Depending on the province, Alberta does it.
Right.
If you, the rest are usually 5-pin oriented. So, Masters in Alberta, we work together. They take that portion and they get funding from us because we're working together on that aspect, right? Other provinces are not so lucky with that.
I'm wondering if there needs to be a shakeup, that somebody needs to push that agenda. There needs to be a consensus, because one group can't run without the other. Unless you just disband them all and you just start over, because they're killing each other, the way it sounds like, or the way a bowler like myself, like Tim, I know you're involved in an association. I know Dexter's involved in the Masters Association. Somebody that's not involved in those associations, I think they're butting heads more than they're helping each other, and that's just the way I see it. And
I don't blame you for saying that. And sometimes I've been on both. I've seen it all sides, unfortunately, except for the Masters. And sometimes you're like, oh, why is this even a fight? Like, but Masters and C5 were together, right? They're like sister organizations, or they're together, and then Sport Canada and government made sure you cut that across. So it wasn't necessarily that they wanted us to not work with them and be separate, or we didn't want that. That was a mandate by Sport Canada and the government. So if somebody didn't know about that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, whether we like it or not, right? You know, we were together. They told us to separate, so it's kind of silly on that aspect too.
But after they were separated, are they still working together, or is it kind of go your own way and start your own thing?
C5 and Masters aren't really having any issues together. No, we work pretty well, at least. And I've never had an issue at the T5 level with them. I mean, I don't see the backroom stuff, but and I know in Alberta we work really well together, so there's been no issues with that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Well, that was pretty in-depth for a Christmas podcast.
I like it.
How you doing, Bradford? Our little gnome.
I'm doing great. I'm taking it all in.
Hey, can I liven it up a little bit?
Of course.
I do have. Well, first of all, I want to. We have some high achievement games I should pass along, and I'm sorry Karie didn't get them to me earlier. But we had Jordan Banks, 425 from London, Ontario last week. That's this minute. We had a couple perfect games in a mountain dune down in Hamilton. We had Jeff Forrester and Eric Ridgway
on back-to-back days. And
in Elmira Dune, we had yesterday. It was DJ Villeneuve with 11:55 for 3 and a 14:34 for 4. So awesome bowling, guys.
Fun fact: he split the series 2-2.
Yeah, he didn't playing Jeff Young.
Really?
Yeah. He shot 1280.
Yeah, Jeff Young shot a 3, edged him out in game 3 by 5. I think it was 383 to 388 or something like that. And then won the last game when DJ slacked off and shot 280.
I think Mark played really well that day too. I think he had a 1200 as well.
That's just average.
Yeah, that's true. That's an average night for him.
Are they playing no tap out there?
No.
The lanes basically are.
Wow.
Yeah. Depends who you ask. If you ask Jeff, he says perfectly normal, and if you ask anybody else, it's a light show. And we love you, Jeff. Don't get me wrong.
And hence supporting England's initial statement: Ontario bowlers are just better.
Well, when you put the pins close together, you get that score. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how this is gonna work out. I thought it'd be a little bit fun.
Did we get through all the shoutouts?
I believe so. Yes.
Did we get the 425 as well?
Yeah, that was the very first score he said. Yeah.
Good, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not going to forget about Jordan. She's an awesome bowler. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Since it is the end of the season, it's 2019. I thought maybe, in good humor and not being rude or picking on anybody, a naughty or nice list based off the podcast.
But we will be picking on people.
Yeah, not personally. So I think part of this, I know Bradford was thinking about it. We did talk about this, Bradford. Remember a couple minutes.
Yeah, I do remember that one message. Yes.
Yeah. So Bradford's been working real hard at this. He says he sits down and works on this spot all day. So I thought we might start with a nice list. Really easy, I think. Tracy Smith, I think, deserves to be on the nice list. One of her podcast people. She's a great follower. She got female bowling back into the tour. Michael Wist, I don't think anybody doesn't like Michael Wist. Even they felt bad for him and let him, give him that corner in 9. So good for Michael on that. Rob Wilson. Rob Wilson. I think, for example, Robbie's the best number 32, and you know what? Everybody still loves him for it.
And so he's one of those guys that just will put up anybody in a hotel room too with him if he needs it. He's just the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
He's our lovable loser. Yes, that's what Robbie is. Yeah. And honestly, I know it's a little bit offside, but I think Brad Wilton deserves to be on there. He is married to Kelsey, so poor guy, and he puts up with a lot, I think. So
opposites attract. You're right. Yeah.
Opposites attract. Now, naughty list was a little bit longer that I got, and I'm sure you guys can help me out with this. First of all, I think Greg DeGrazia deserves to be on there.
Just for his vocabulary alone.
Vocabulary, it was quite rude at C5 during the banquet, and he might have said the wrong word at the wrong time.
It's only 4 letters.
Yeah. Ciuente, yeah, I gotcha. Henry Shoots, I'm going to shout him out. He's going through a lot of healing, I guess. Right now he's going through big surgery. but he does have a bad attitude, and he probably wants to be on this list. So
He
I'll give
literally
Henry
just
that
had
shout-out.
brain surgery, and his attitude is still just as bad.
I have Sarah Wyatt on here. I have Sarah on here because Danny's the nicest guy in the world. He should be on the nice list. But from what I learned from Sarah, you can only have a favorite, and Danny's my favorite, and Sarah is not. So that is why she's on the naughty list. On a way outside, Emily England. Jeff is a nice guy, and I can't believe Emily is not proud of him for playing every ball in the club tour. So I feel for you, Jeff. We love you, bud. And I'm on your side for that.
We are your support group.
Kathy Langlois. Okay, Kathy's on my naughty list because we traded shirts and she didn't want this Wiseman. She wanted the better Wiseman, so she traded my shirt for Dexter's shirt. I'm a little bit peeved with that still, and I'm not very happy with Kathy.
I thought that was just smart.
I was
It's
just
not
going to say smart girl.
Tim doesn't like
Smart?
smart. Smart
No,
is
no.
naughty.
Yeah.
We know
Shane
this.
Shane Chafe's on the naughty list because he always ditches our podcast. We've asked him a million times to come on. He has yet to do one.
Yeah, keeps dodging
So-
us.
He keeps dodging us. And actually, Chris Bradford, because Chris broke a table at the TPC and he's yet
Okay.
to pay for it.
You know what? Danny will agree with me about IKEA.
Isn't that where half your cabinets come from?
No.
Now,
That table- It was already
Now,
broken.
I do have honorable mentions as well from previous 2018 that are not on the naughty list anymore and have improved and they're getting nicer. One is Stu Ryan. He's no longer Tyson Nelson's dad. So that is no longer an issue.
Wow.
Let me tell you about Stu Ryan.
What's going on with Stu Ryan, Chris? Let us know.
It's not meant for podcast.
Danny gone back. Danny has made better life decisions, and now he's on the better and straighter, narrow path in life.
Mhm.
And
Congratulations on your kid.
finally, Jordan Schuss. Jordan made it past Thursday at TPC, and now he's a TPC champion. So congratulations to Jordan. All right. Anybody else want to add to this list at all? Bradford?
Well, you took Bradford's. I mean, I did make the most wanted poster. So kind of sad you took that. I want to add Mitch Davies to both lists. Realistically,
Why?
he's nice because he's hosting a Christmas party for all the people that don't have Christmas. But he's on the naughty list because it's a key party.
Oh, good.
Whoa.
All right, Karie, do you have anything to add to this?
No, you took my Shane Chafe. That was mine.
Adam must have one.
Well, obviously the naughty has got to be Hislop because he's a ginger.
Cute kid, though. And he knows how to play ponies.
Yeah.
Both are pretty
I'm
good.
still not convinced that's his.
Yeah. I'm not around too many nice guys, so especially this podcast. You guys are a bunch of assholes.
Wherever we should hang out.
He only hangs out with good bowlers.
Super soft pass.
Super soft.
I do have another nice thing, and
I'm consistent, Tim.
and it kind of warmed my heart. Was even though Robert can be naughty, Robert Parks, he did a Superman thing on our Sunday Night League for Henry, so I'm giving him a shout out for that. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad most of us didn't make the naughty list except for Chris.
I got nothing.
I guess I will add somebody to the nice list. Robert Gallagher supports professional bowling for a number of years, But he's also on the naughty list because it is Robert Gallagher. So
If you were on his Facebook Messenger, he is on the naughty list about 100,000 times.
Beware.
yeah. Okay, Chris, we will segue into our special guest questions. This is what you were supposed to study for that Tim was supposed to let you know.
Tim should have let me know. There might be a lot of silence, but I'll try my best.
No worries. Who is your bowling mentor growing up?
Growing up, I got to say Bill Patchlock. Probably because I grew up and now I'm bald like him. But he just threw one of the smoothest balls I ever watched the ball.
Where was that from? Where did you guys play?
He was from Vernon.
Okay.
I think he bowls out of Chase now. But super nice guy, threw really, really smooth ball.
Too bad. It's a shame you didn't copy his style.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Oh, man. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, sorry, Karie. I was breaking up there. I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
No, nothing. Your favorite...
Did you say breaking down? Sorry, what?
Next question.
Your favorite tournament?
My favorite tournament?
Yeah.
It was Edmonton, but I got to say Regina Classic.
That's fair.
Just because I lived out there for 10 years and go back and get to see all the people I bowled with in the Open and stuff. So.
And they don't have IKEA tables.
Yeah, and they don't cheap out on their furniture, which is nice.
Do you want to build us some tables? You owe us one.
Yeah, I will give you the $13.99 one that you guys bought.
I said build.
I'll build one for $13.99.
Do you have a favorite match or a toughest match that you always remember?
Yeah, the one match that I'll always remember because it was the only time I ever got to go to nationals was when I was playing mixed in Saskatchewan, and I was bowling with a couple older girls. I think they were maybe 67, 69, and 70 maybe on our mixed team, and then there was myself, Jason Wyatt, and Trevor Prey, and we ended up qualifying first. Played Regina in the gold medal game. Came down to our last ball of the last frame, and I think he needed to count 12, I think, to win, and he needed to count 13 to win, and he ended up chopping his first ball, picked the 2-pin on his second ball, and then picked the 3-pin on his last one to win by 2, and send us to nationals. That was my first nationals, so.
Oh, awesome!
That's probably my most memorable one.
I imagine that last ball was super nerve-wracking. Picking a 3-pin for a win.
Yeah.
So what's
Ask Gino.
Yeah. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them.
Miller.
What's in your arsenal?
I have 2 soft rolls. Well, now I have 7 soft rolls. Yeah, soft rolls. I bought them a couple years ago, and I've loved them ever since.
Do you have your custom bowling shoes? I think you use, right?
Yeah, I made some custom DCs.
And what was the main reason moving to a custom share?
I think it was when I was bowling on the kind of one of the first 2 years I was bowling on the tour. Before it was really a tour, I think. I just seen a lot of people that were wearing them and thought I'd give it a try, and I'm glad I made the switch because it's a lot more comfortable to me.
Right.
Especially when you have to go 4 shifts.
I hear ya. So obviously, like you said, you've been to nationals once or anything. So what's the first title that you want to take down? Is it national gold or is it a tour final? What is it?
Make a cut at the WCBT would be fantastic.
That's your first objective.
That's my first objective. Yeah, because I feel like you're bowling with a lot of the best bowlers around Canada.
Yeah, and
to me that's more than opener master. Like I don't bowl masters, but
right. It's definitely getting a lot tougher to make cuts. That's for sure. It's you usually just don't squeak in anymore. You have to have a good day on the lanes just to make the cut.
Yeah.
Which even 5, 6, 7 years ago, hate to say it, but at the Autumn Open, you could have a rough day and just throw one good game and you can be in the cut. But now you can throw 3, 4 good games and you're still 100 out. Like,
Yeah.
it's gotten to be that you have to be prepared. You just can't show up randomly unless you're Adam Weber or Stu Ryan or guys that don't need to play
Karie
leagues or
Kreutz.
anything. Oh yeah, four shifter Karie Kreutz.
Hey, buddy. Is that why we play Bakers together?
That's right.
Actually, you know what would be fun, Carrie? Go back through any of the stats that you might have and try to figure out how many people missed a cut while shooting 400 in a shift. It
There's
seems to
lots.
be a lot lately. Just
not even
testament
lately.
How hard?
Not even lately. There's guys that have thrown perfect games and missed cuts, right? Like
Rolly
Chose.
we could go all the way back to Rolly Gervais.
Yeah.
Chose, yeah.
Yeah,
Chose,
Eric Chose
Jordan-
at TPC.
Jordan Shoots.
Yeah, Jordan Schutz at TPC as well. Like, there's, I don't know how many times. I remember the one year, this is probably 10, 11 years ago, Nick Utley at TPC when I was at Collingwood would shoot
Oh, yeah.
400, buck 70, 400, buck 80.
No, it wasn't even. It was 400, buck 19, 400.
No. He made the cut, but it was
Nice triple.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like crazy bowling.
Yes, I remember that clear as day.
Yeah, but yeah, that would be kind of neat to know actually. But it's a lot higher than most people would think. I'm guessing it's hard to follow up a good especially a 400. It's hard to follow it up with another good game. It's not too often that happens, but
Yeah, in qualifying, I'd rather shoot 396, 398, something like that, where you don't have that stigma of the 4. There's something about it.
I'm okay with it in the final 2, but you
Yeah.
don't want to start with like a 400 in the game. Well, I mean, if you get a 400, you're happy with it. But game 1 or 2, it's just really easy to take off the gas after that and just like feel like you can kind of coast in, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble.
yeah.
Even with a 4, you still have to average, 250 to 260. The other 7 just to make cut line.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous nowadays.
Yeah, you'll need to
I
shoot
love it.
1800 for your other 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's still a good day on the lanes. That's crazy.
That's still like 257, I think, something like that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Anybody got anything else?
Well, one question that we usually ask our guests, Chris, as well, is I guess you've been around for a little while on tour, so maybe aside from what the tour is already kind of bringing to the table these days, is there any additional improvements that you could think of or would like to see within the sport of 5-pin bowling?
No, not any that I can think of. I quite enjoy like all the different formats of the tour events and stuff like that. No, I can't think of any.
Well, that's good to hear. That means we're on the right track.
Yeah.
So there has been talks, and I'll throw his name out there. I know he listens. Evan Lecoussier has kind of brought up some stuff over the last couple weeks on Thursday nights up at Sherwood Park. He wants to start doing little videos and stuff like that. Is there any suggestions you guys have for videos that you would like to see? Little competitions or something to deal with 5-pin bowling?
I know.
would.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I know a while back, it must have been probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I remember distinctly having this conversation with Karie about, what about the possibility of bringing up some sort of like challenge matches, right? And I know Tim at one point, because I think there was a TV show, I think it was called Hustlers or something like that.
I was
where
talking
it was
about that.
basically like challenge matches and almost kind of having like a local ranking system where you could challenge a person, say plus or minus 3 of your rank, to try to move up the the leaderboards and things like that. And I still think that would be a very fun format and something that would kind of keep it, at least a local area very much engaged in kind of the current scene of the sport.
Well, that's what's happening right now in Abbotsford and in Winnipeg, is it not? Those guys have challenge
Similar.
weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah, you always see people from Winnipeg posting stuff like that.
Yeah, little similar, but it's like from what Adam and I remember, it used to be like a top 10 you used to have, right, Adam? And then if you wanted to move up the board, you had a challenge, and then there was certain rules where this is different if you're going to televise it or whatnot, but there was a certain time frame you had to do it or not. You're going to drop down rankings. Of course, there was side bets, like it was going to pay you, you're going to bet this much, or if you get this much or whatever like that, I'll give you 50 to start the game or whatever if you're trying to move up.
Basically, you had to be active as well, right? It's not like you could just, get that top spot or, say top 3 spot and just kind of hold on to it for a while. Basically, you had to be open to a challenge, but kind of have that thought that maybe wherever your ranking is, plus 2 spots, minus 2 spots. So at any point, go do a challenge, put whatever you want on the line, make up whatever rules you want. Right? If say me and Tim are playing, and one of us have to spot each other, 5 points a game, right? You basically make up whatever challenge match that you want. Kind of post what that is. Hell, you even do it live, right? But I think the biggest issue that we had with that is trying to find time to actually do it, and it was basically either super late night or super early mornings, and
or right after work, or
I would like to do a trick shot competition or horse. Play a game of horse against somebody.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be fun.
Now that we have like synthetics, we could definitely throw chairs and stuff out there and like strike paths. And well, what's it gonna do? I don't know. I'd like to see somebody throw a strike from lane 11 into lane 12, and then see somebody try to match it. I think a game of horse would be pretty fun.
I think Aaron Art wins that at Dexter, that competition. If you had to throw one over one lane to another.
You throw it in the gutter. You gotta throw a strike. If you're playing horse, it's like throwing it in through the hoop. You gotta throw a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watch too much on YouTube, but Storm Bowling does they spin the wheel, and it's a split shot or a sparable shot for 10 pin. And if you miss it, you have to do like a hot wing or something like that. And they play against it's either a staffer plays against a professional or something like that. I think it'd be kind of cool. I know Evan was talking about something like that, so maybe
it'd be really cool.
Maybe we'll see something over the Christmas break, and we'll try and push it through 5-Pin Universe. We'll try and get something up.
Anything to push content of 5-Pin bowling, and I think one other thing that could really be beneficial out of there is you start getting the personalities of some of the players that we play against or see all the time, right?
Yeah. Or even on these Ontario guys, all these great bowlers out in Ontario, maybe
the
they
best
could
bowlers in Canada.
Maybe they could do something, a video, and shout it out to somebody, and they have to battle them through videos or something. Who knows? Maybe
I think Dwayne was talking about doing something like that.
We'll figure something out. There's definitely a lot of people out there, like Jennifer Devaney and those ladies out there are starting something out there from the rumors. So maybe we'll see something pop up that won't be through 5-Pin Universe, since it seems like we're the ones pushing everything lately.
We're annoying. Buy our shirts.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody on Facebook has just silenced our feed so they don't have to put up with the crap we push out every day. But
top salesperson right here.
We haven't checked recently.
No, it's still the same. I checked today.
You could have just pleaded ignorance.
0 sales, people. Buy a shirt. You keep saying you're going to. Do it already.
We are losers.
Where can they see those, Karie?
On teespring.com, 5-Pin Universe's store, or through Facebook. You can even go to our website at 5pinuniverse.com. It's right on there. Lots of links everywhere. Stop avoiding it.
Let's get. Is there WCBT hoodies?
They are all sold out, I do believe.
There. Okay.
Well, we do have 5-pin universe hoodies.
Yeah, there is 5-pin universe ones.
Is there? Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to look at those.
And just and I guess for the listeners, just know that these won't be at the actual tour stops.
No,
So
this
if
is
you-
5-pin universe only, people, and it's we're not carrying stock. It's through a third-party provider, but there is a small proceed, and that'll be used for 5-pin universe getting more equipment, pushing media, stuff like that. It is not going in our pockets. So if you want to support 5-pin media, there you go.
And there is shipping discounts for multiples as well. So
Yeah, the initial
that might be
shipping
part
cost.
of it.
The initial shipping cost is pretty high, but if you buy multiple units, it definitely decreases. So
we'll get some more up there.
yeah, we'll switch up the pictures on it, since you guys apparently don't like the ones that are on there right now. We'll get some new ones.
Maybe we can get a Mark Miller one up there.
Maybe.
Chris Bradford as a gnome might show up.
I think that'd be good. All I want for it'll just say all I want for Christmas is a new IKEA table.
I'm gonna bring you another one. You clearly haven't gotten over this yet.
Can you tell the listeners why you did it?
Frustration.
That's fair.
It wasn't even. I literally didn't even. I was laughing when I did it, and then I was mad after it happened. Danny Bear will vouch for me on that 100 times.
Mitch went through the same thing with his hand. Exact same thought
Yeah, but
process.
Mitch's hand's tiny. It takes up
And
less surface when
he
it hits.
punched
so
a floor.
Same thought process though.
yeah, true.
Your bar tab covered the cost of the table.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
not
like
too worried about.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Did I have a bar tab that weekend?
Shot wheel tab.
Oh. Oh yeah, that thing.
Oh, I was gonna ask, did you guys do your VR mini golf?
You know what? You
No.
weren't there, so it doesn't matter. You can ask a question.
I'm
That's a
great
legally
point.
allowed.
That is a
You have
great
to be
point.
there.
It's in my contract. I'm allowed to ask questions.
We don't have to answer though. Next question.
There's no contract.
Adam Weber, I asked about the VR, and Tim wouldn't do it.
Well, he took enough money off you last year. Why not?
Well, 2 years ago. Okay,
Yeah,
2
we
years.
didn't rent-
Whatever.
we
sure.
ended up using the VR booths as our payment booths for side pots and stuff, and it worked out really good.
Oh, yeah.
So there
I-
wasn't much VR.
Took away from
I
VR
act-
sales though.
Yeah, I want to be honest with you. The money I took off Bradford, I literally bought my new couch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm literally I sit on it and watch TV.
Tim
I'm
bought
not
a $100
lying.
couch. He
At
bought
least
a
your
blow up
couch
couch.
IKEA as well.
You're so special, Tim. You're so special.
That's why we love them.
Sure.
Yeah.
What
Dead
do
silence.
you guys think of the top 5 list?
Love
I
it.
think they're great. It gets more reach than any of our other content, and we spend every Wednesday night doing this, and that gets the most reach. So it's great.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I have been putting lots of thought into them. So
No, they've been really well done, Adam. They've been really good.
And if you have any problems with anything Adam writes, make sure you just message him. He's open to questions and answers.
Criticism.
Yeah.
I'm open to questions and answers.
Yeah. Well,
He's just open.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was a great Christmas podcast.
Everybody's gonna be super glad that they get a 2-week break from us.
That's right. We'll
No content.
yeah. We might do one during the Christmas break, I guess, eh? When will the next one be? That would be
it'd be the
Well,
eighth if we.
next Wednesday is Christmas, and the Wednesday after that is New
Year's.
Year's Day. So
So the
see you
8th.
in 3 weeks, everybody.
I mean, I can call you guys on New Year's at about 11 if you want.
Pass.
It'll be entertaining.
Maybe.
Karie might have something for Christmas morning. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Adam keeps pushing an agenda on me, so I'll get it out there.
Well, maybe if I do it on this format, you'll listen.
Probably not. It's too long.
Probably not. This is true. I won't listen either.
Yeah. If everybody wants to know what we're talking
fellas.
about.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Merry
guys.
Christmas,
Thanks,
everybody.
Chris, thanks
having me.
everybody. Have a great Christmas,
Bradford.
everyone.
New Year.
Merry Christmas.